What's up, you guys? I am about to make some bath bombs for my bridesmaids, so I thought I'd show you guys how I'm doing this. I got some inspiration from, I think BuzzFeed did one, and it's like they have, you know how they have like Tasty? They also have one that's called, is it Nifty? I want to say it's Nifty, not Crafty, Nifty, right? Yeah, Nifty. And then also there's one video on making these that's from Natasha Rose. She's like in Australia, and they're Geode Bath Bombs, and I thought this would be really fun to make. So I'm gonna go ahead and attempt that right now and show you guys how I do it. So let's get started. Let's cross our fingers. Hopefully this turns out okay. Okay, so first I am taking a whole cup of baking soda and tossing that in there. And next I'm taking half a cup of Epsom salt, and I already spilled some in there because I had a little accident when I was pouring it into the cup, but there you go, half a cup of Epsom salt, which I literally got from the dollar store. So next I'm taking half a cup of citric acid. I was told that you could just find this in the grocery store, and I couldn't find it in the grocery store, so I ordered it from Amazon because that's where I get everything. Next I'm taking half a cup of cornstarch and dumping that in there. Probably have cornstarch laying around at your house somewhere. Now I'm just going to go ahead and whisk that all together and obviously make a huge mess all over my countertop because that's what I do. And yeah, for this portion, I don't feel like I can handle whisking with one hand, so BRB. Okay, and you can't see it, but here I've got some coconut oil, and we're going to take about 2.5 tablespoons of that, and we're going to pour it right into our mixture here. Okay. And I'm going to use a tablespoon of alcohol. Now, Natasha used alcohol. The Nifty recipe said to use water, but Natasha said that the alcohol will dissolve, or not dissolve, but evaporate way quicker. So your bath bombs are going to be much drier. So they're not going to take as much time, because a lot of times with bath bombs, it's going to take like 24 hours to dry. But with this, it should ideally be okay in about 3 hours. So we'll give it a go. Okay, so now you should have something that kind of holds its shape when you squeeze it. If not, add a little bit more alcohol and then you should be good to go. But make sure you stir it really, really fast. Otherwise, it's going to kind of dissolve all the, or I guess it's gonna react, and all the fizzy properties are just gonna go ahead and start fizzing. But you don't want that because you want it to fizz when they drop it in the bathtub. So make sure you stir it really, really fast. Okay, now for the fun part. We're gonna add some coloring, and we're also gonna add some essential oil. So I got this coloring from Amazon. I actually ordered like a bunch of those bath bomb molds, and this kind of came with it as like a set sort of thing. I'm not using the bath bomb molds because they're too small, but I do have also some essential oil. So I got these as a Christmas present, and normally I use Young Living oils for like everything, but I mean, it's just like a bath bomb that they're gonna use like one time. So I'm just gonna use these because they're not quite as pricey as Young Living oils. All right, so I'm using this blue. I'm using a couple drops of that. Oh my gosh, that was a lot. So I'm just gonna use a little bit of that, but I'm also going to add some black because my colors for my wedding are like dusty blue. So I want it to look a little grayer. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, I switched to a wooden spoon because the whisk was just not working out with this like mixture. And I actually, you probably saw that initial like few drops of like blue and black coloring I added, and it was not enough. So I went back and I added about that much, probably 4 more times. So now it's this kind of like pale blue, which is good. And now we're gonna add some oils because, oh my gosh, that alcohol scent is so strong. Okay, so epic fail on my part, but when I was getting ready to put these in the molds, which are really just like these clear Christmas ornaments that I bought that were entirely too big, but I bought them from Amazon, of course, for like 16 bucks, and I think it was like for 16 molds, like $1 mold, so not bad. But a friend called and we were on the phone for like an hour, and I was like, okay, well, I gotta get started on this and I can't really wait. So I started putting these into the molds, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You just kind of like smush it around in there and it gets like compacted. All right, guys, so it's actually the next morning, and I've got my melted coconut oil here, and I've got 3 different bowls with rock salt and Epsom salt. So the Nifty video pretty much just said Epsom salt and mixed in some like coloring in there. but I wanted the look of like the rock salt, which is like thicker than the Epsom salt. You can see it's like a little craggier, I guess. So these dried overnight and they're like really, really dry now. Like it's awesome. And then I also decided to put in some, it's actually like luster dust that you would use for like decorating cupcakes. It's food grade. The reason that I did that is because normally like glitter is basically plastic and then it all gets washed down the drain. It's really bad for the environment. So this is, you know, it's fine really if it goes down the drain. So that's what I decided to use, and I think I'm going to paint some around the outside. I'm going to figure out how to do that too. So, but I wanted obviously like a glitter explosion when they drop it into their bathtubs. So I put some of that in there and it'll be like under the rock salt. So basically what we're going to do here is we're going to color these. There's going to be a little less coloring in here, and then like slightly more coloring in here, and then the most coloring in here. So that way, like around the edges, it's gonna go from like lighter to like darker in the middle. And yeah, so we're gonna kind of like layer that up, and then we're gonna like in between layers pour coconut oil in there because the coconut oil is gonna harden at room temperature, and it's gonna kind of like hold it in place. So let's get started. You can see it's getting all colored here, and I am going to finish stirring off camera, and then I will show you guys what it looks like after I'm done. Alright, so after mixing that up, I had to get my kid off to school, so this is done. You can see it goes from light to much darker, and now I'm going to go ahead and get everything into my little molds here. God, I need a tripod. This is like miserable to do when you don't have a tripod. Like, what am I doing? So we'll just kind of spread that around the sides, right? Hopefully this is right. Okay. And also, I did kind of like play around with the color quite a bit. It wasn't really where I wanted it the first time, like when you saw me drop it in. So you kind of have to play around with it until you get the desired shades that you guys want. So that is, I mean, that's really like completely like preference really. But I did end up using like quite a bit. So now that we have that coconut oil in there, just gonna kind of press that in. And I'm assuming honestly that I'm gonna have to like wait in between layers for this to like harden up, which doesn't really take super long, I'm assuming, because coconut oil, especially when it's like this, it's gonna be like this thin of a layer, it's, you know, it's gonna harden pretty quick. So just kind of drizzle that over the top. And this will be nice too because it'll hold that glitter in place at the bottom. All right, and I shall return. Okay, so as you can see, everything is done with the first layer. So I am gonna go do my makeup and I will come back and finish these up, I guess. Hopefully it'll be like hardened as far as like the coconut oil goes like by then. I don't know, we'll see. It's not looking good, so we'll see. Okay, so here's the thing, guys. Waiting in between layers is not going to work really. I mean, you could, I guess, but you would have to put it in the fridge in between layers. And also, I've discovered that I needed a butt ton more coconut oil. Otherwise, like, all the little salt crystals are just kind of like chilling and floating. So, like, really, like, saturate it. You know what I mean? Like, you have to really, like, really put some coconut oil in there. Otherwise, like, it's not going to stick to anything. Like, they're not going to stick together and, like, kind of clump up. So, put a ton of coconut oil in there and go to town. So, I will do all 3 layers and kind of show you, like, what I'm doing here. Okay, so, ooh, oh my God, did you see what just happened? Okay, so that is clearly not sticking because there's not enough coconut oil. I mean, like, really, you gotta put a ton in there. So what I'm gonna do is fix that. I'm just gonna fix that real quick, and then I'm gonna put this, like, second layer around, I think, is what I'm gonna do. And then, like, let me just show you, like, really, like, how much coconut oil you need in this, because that's a lot. So, like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, when they use this in their bathtub, they're gonna have to get out of that tub, like, really, really carefully, because it's gonna be maybe a little slippery. I'm not really sure. And then you just kind of, like, you see how it's, like, kind of wet, so you can kind of, like, make it sort of stick around the sides, like so. So hopefully that's gonna stay. I don't know, we'll see. So I will come back after I have poured the third layer in there. Okay, so as you can see, it kind of goes from, like, light to dark in the middle, kind of this cool effect there, like an ombre effect, like a real geode. So that's looking really, really good. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pop these in the fridge and let them harden up, because that coconut oil is gonna get, like, really hard once it's cold. And yeah, hopefully they'll travel well, because some of these are gonna be traveling and I just don't know what's gonna happen, but we'll see. Alright guys, so this is how the bath bombs turned out, and I am going to show you right now how I ended up getting that kind of gold edge there. So I did stick it in the fridge for hours, and now it's hardened up and it's good to go. And I'm going to package them up somehow. I'm going to figure that out, but I'll show you how to paint the gold edge here. Okay, so you guys remember how I talked about that luster dust that was food grade, so it's not plastic glitters to ruin the oceans? That's actually, it's from Wilton, and it's like this pearl dust. This one says bronze, and you can get this, I think I got it at Michael's, and it wasn't expensive either. It was like $3 or something, maybe $4. But basically you take this, and then you take the tiniest amount of alcohol and you mix it together. And I'm gonna show you how I do that right now, but I'm gonna kind of go over, like, real quick some mistakes that I made in this whole process. So I started out, this came with, like, my soap colors, and so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna mix this luster dust with this alcohol with the paintbrush. No, it, like, soaked up all of the, you see how it's just, like, sticking to the bristles? Don't do that. Don't do what I did. So instead I took one of my actual makeup brushes. It's just like a liner brush or something. Oh, it's hard now. I don't know. But I then took the end of it and swirled it around there, and then took this and kind of, like, brushed it around the edges. So also what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this kind of out, and, like, to do that I kind of do, like, bend the plastic just a little bit to sort of, like, work it out so it'll come out easily, because once it's refrigerated, the coconut oil wants to stick. So now you can move it. So I will take this out, and then I'll be showing you how I paint it. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, I've got my small amount of luster dust here, and I'm just going to slowly just drizzle some of this alcohol in, and then just kind of, like, take the end of my brush and swirl it. And then you don't want it too dry, but you don't want it too, oh, look what I just did. Jeez. You also don't want it to, like, I think that looks good though, as far as, like, consistency goes. You can almost, like, see, oh, it's glorious how that, like, glitter, just, like, oh, how satisfying. So then I'm going to take this makeup brush, and I'm just going to, it's probably not going to be very easy when I'm not holding it, but you can see how you just sort of, like, paint the edge. It doesn't take long either. You just kind of, like, do that. And that's also really satisfying to watch. I mean, and, like, it's going to rough up the edge a little bit because there is that alcohol that's going to maybe dissolve the edges, but that's okay because it's going to make it look more, like, organic, I guess, like it's a real geode, so I'm not mad at it or anything. Do you see that? It's, like, gorgeous. So there you go. So that's how you do it, guys. As you can see, I'm a total hot mess from this whole entire day. It has been a total disaster, and yes, I have a band-aid on my finger because I had a little accident involving a sledgehammer and a garden stake, and I didn't smash my finger per se, but I skinned it. It's a long story, so it's been a long day, and now I'm just here decorating my bath bombs, and I'm gonna put together my boxes, and I'm so excited because you guys, I just have to show you these sugar cookies. Hang on one second. Do we see these sugar cookies right now? I have a friend who decorates cookies, and she did such an amazing job. So you'll see me like take them out and put them into the box a little bit later, but oh my gosh, they're gorgeous. So that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hopefully you picked up some pointers. Something that I think I will say that I probably forgot to mention earlier is when I was putting the salts together and like mixing up the colors, the Nifty video was like, just use 3 tablespoons in all 3 of the bowls. And I was like, it's gonna take more than 3 tablespoons, like of each, like for sure. And I ended up literally going through, I had to buy another one because I still have like 2 bath bombs to make, but I didn't use rock salt. It was this salt mill refill salt, and I used some Epsom salt as well. I went through this whole bag of Epsom salt and one of those, and I bought some more today, so I have to actually mix some more up. But I mean, to be fair, I made 8 bath bombs, so when I made the Nifty bath bomb recipe, I guess, I actually made like 1.5 recipes, so I could make like 8 total of these bath bombs. And I will say, and here's another pointer, I made them too thin, I think, when I put them in these molds. I kind of like I probably made them like 1/4 of an inch thick, and I would actually make them thicker so you can use less salt. So learn from my mistakes. That's just what I would recommend for you guys to do. So hope you guys tune into my next video where I actually put together the boxes. Super excited, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.